Per Adam Schefter of ESPN, the Chicago Bears have signed Jaylon Johnson to a 4-year, $76 million deal. Pat the Designer, Chicago Bears podcast. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and showing love. First things first and foremost, let me know how you feel about this deal getting done. Is this what you wanted to see the Chicago Bears do? This is an interesting deal when you start to break it down a little bit deeper. First 3 years, he is guaranteed to get about $60 million in that first 3 of this 4-year deal. His guarantees are $54 million on the contract. And as you start to break this down, you start to kind of understand the genius of polls. This averages out to about $19 million per, which is less than the money that you would have given him if you had tagged him. You're giving a little bit front loaded. We're going to give him a little bit more money up front, which is fine. I like that. I like the ability to go out there and negotiate that even better. But you're not having him reset the DB market, basically, right? Yes, he is in a sense for certain years and things like that. But when you're talking about how much a guy is making, when you're talking about how much Jaylon Johnson is going to be making over the length of this, I think about this in the annuals, because at $19 million a year, annually, you're getting him for less than what you would have been getting him for. He still has the opportunity to reset the market at 28 years old. He still has the opportunity to go out there and prove that he's even better. And your hope is that he will continue to get better. And as he does get better, your price tag gets lower. I think that the guarantees were probably what was holding this thing up the entire time. And the fact that now we've gotten the guarantees worked out, $54 million guaranteed. I like to see that for a young player who has come up through your ranks, who has built himself up through your process, who has built himself up through your program, who seems to have bought in to what Matt Eberflus is preaching, who seems to be one of those guys that's willing to teach one of the young DBs. One of the things that me and J-Mac talk about all the time is what stood out to us in training camp is the fact that when you look at how Jaylon Johnson was with the young guys, when you look at how Jaylon Johnson dealt with the young guys at training camp, whenever they had questions, he was the one there. Whenever they wanted to talk, he was the one there. Whenever they needed something done, he was the one who they could go to. That's the kind of player that you want to keep around your building. And so I love the fact that Jaylon Johnson was able to get this deal worked out. And I know some people are going to be naysayers on this. I've heard many people say that they don't believe that he deserved the kind of money that he got. I just don't know why. And I think that's the biggest question for me. Why are we doubting Jaylon Johnson? Why are we doubting what we saw? He's led the NFL in pass breakup numbers. He's led the NFL in coverage numbers. He's led the NFL in quarterback percentage against numbers, QBR numbers against him. He's led the NFL on all these stats. And my biggest question this season was, how do you pay a DB that does not take the football away? You added pressure this year, and guess what Jaylon Johnson magically was able to do? All of a sudden, we're talking about 4 interceptions. All of a sudden, we're talking about him being all around the football. All of a sudden, we're talking about him being a guy that constantly wins his battles. I think Jaylon Johnson took himself from being a top 15 DB in the NFL this year to possibly being a top 5, maybe even top 2 level guy. Like, I think when you talk about what he's been able to do this season, I talk about it glowingly, and I feel like he's the type of guy that you need to have on your team from a leadership perspective, from a production perspective, and the type of guy that's going to continue to get better. And that's why I'm very excited about this signing. I love the way that Poles was able to go out and get this signing done. I think that that's a great way to attack this. I would say the biggest concern here that I have now is, how do you continue to build around him? I think that you got the money in the right place. I think that you've paid the right guy, and now you have to keep making his life easier. That is what this is all about for Ryan Poles. So now you got to build that front up. You got to look at getting something done with actually getting production from the dogs up front. We got more of that last year. Javon Dexter, absolutely a good piece to have in there. Hope to continue to see him develop. You go out and you add Montez Sweat. I think that you need to add something else to that other edge. But if you start to add those things out and you're pairing him up, you're talking about a DB room that has Kyler Gordon, Tyreek Stevenson, Jaylon Johnson, Jaquan Brisker, and you've got money to also throw at that free safety spot. And there's some names on the market that are really, really interesting. I would love a guy like Quandre Diggs. I would love an Xavier Xavier McKinney. Shout out Bearlissimo. I think that there's some really good names that the Bears could go after to make this a dominant defense for years to come. And this really excites me, dog. I'm not going to lie. Like, this is one of those things to me where when you see the Chicago Bears paying guys that deserve what they were supposed to get. And that's why I love this about what we've seen from Jaylon Johnson. Jaylon Johnson went out to the NFL, and the NFL said, no, you're not getting that. We're not giving you that. We're not trading for you and paying you whatever you want. We're not doing that. We're not giving you the guarantees you want. We're not working that. No, we're done. We're good. The fact that you didn't take the contract that Ryan Poles offered you the first time, that shows your lack of value. He bets on himself. He goes out there. He gives you more production. Ryan Poles doesn't just leave him out there to dry. He gives him some assets to help him out. I think that this was great on both sides. This is how you want to see contract disputes work out. And I think realistically, the Roquan Smith deal left a lot of Bears fans with a bad taste in their mouth when it came to a quarterback being able to come out and actually, when it came to your GM being able to come out and get something done with the players that you have on the field. Y'all see, I've talked quarterback so much, my brain just automatically goes quarterback. That's funny. But you see a guy who's able to go out there and automatically, you assumed that like, Jaylon Johnson's deal may have gone the Roquan Smith way because he wasn't a Ryan Poles guy. You assume that maybe, right, like Cole Kmet's maybe the one guy that slipped through the cracks because he wasn't a Ryan Poles guy. But instead, we're paying for the production that we're seeing. And when Ryan Poles said, I'm coming strong with the guarantees, I'm coming strong with the years, as far as him being able to get out of or be done with the contract and attack the contract again, right? Like, I love the way that this contract has worked out. And I think that this is the best thing for the Chicago Bears moving forward, to keep a guy like this in your building. But I do want to know how you guys feel, man. Let me know in the comments below. I'll be down there talking with you as well. The Chicago Bears holding on to Jaylon Johnson. Absolutely what you want to see this Bears team do. Let us know how you guys feel in the comments below. We, of course, will be talking about this on the Chicago Bears podcast moving forward. But y'all have a great week. We will be back with it. I think we still got to put our episode out today, and we'll have a great episode with John Yurkovich tomorrow, the good kid Yurko. So stay tuned in with us on that as well, and continue to watch all our programming over here at ESPN 1000 on YouTube and live over on Twitch. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago Bear Don. Glad to see JJ get that deal done. Peace.